There's another doctor here, though, who has testimony of her own to give, and that's Dr. Robi Ludwig. Outstanding in terms of what she does. She's licensed in psychotherapy. She's also an author of the book, Till Death Do Us Part, Love, Marriage, and the Mind of the Killer Spouse. Great book, good read. Everyone should get it. So, Robi,
thank you.
Your view as to what you heard the doctor say and your own independent
it just sounds like there are a lot of excuses. What about when you hear your boyfriend is suicidal and you tell your parent, you tell an adult, so that some type of intervention is made? Now, kids are taught about this, and you can't say, oh, it was a bad side effect of a medication. I'm not saying there aren't bad doctors out there. I'm not saying there isn't bad medication out there. But what about this theory? We have a girlfriend that tried to help her suicidal boyfriend for years, okay? And I'm sure there was a manipulative component about him saying, I'm going to kill myself, wanting to get love. But maybe she was a burnt-out caregiver and finally got angry with him and said, you know what? I'm so sick of this guy. He won't leave me alone. He is burdening me. I have my own problems. He's stressing me out. Maybe he should die. Let me help him. And I think that there was a part of her that was very murderous and sadistic and was attracted to somebody who was masochistic and suicidal.
So do you think, Robi, you would be in a position to give that testimony had you been called? I mean, that sounds to me like it could be potentially helpful to Michelle.
I don't know how it translates in the law. I don't know if it would be helpful, and I don't know that I would want to be helpful to somebody who helped somebody commit suicide.
But you think it could be she's a burnt-out
I think that could explain the murderous rage. And I do think we need to be held responsible for the words and actions that we encourage people to do. I'm a therapist. Words can heal and they can harm and they can be dangerous. Now, I know there's an aversion to criminalizing certain words, and I get that.
Yes.
And ultimately, if someone suicides, there's something in them that wants to kill themselves. But she certainly was instrumental. And we know about teens, they respond to their peers. They want to please their peers.
Yes,
They're
do.
influenced more by their peers than their parents. So she had a strong impact on him and used technology as a weapon.
Dr. Robi, we appreciate you. Continue to do the fine work that you do. I want to bring in Dr. Robi Ludwig. She, of course, is a licensed psychotherapist and the author of, let's show it here, Till Death Do Us Part, Love, Marriage, and the Mind of the Killer Spouse. Great book. Advise you all to get a great read. So, Robi, take us through this. I mean, there's a major psychological component here, I guess on both parts, right?
Yeah,
on Conrad Roy and then Michelle.
Right.
Educate us about that.
Well, I think you have a situation where someone who is suicidal was attracted to somebody who was murderous. And somebody who was murderous was attracted to somebody who was suicidal. So in a dysfunctional way, they really met each other's needs, their, neurotic needs, if you will. But I think that there's no doubt here that Michelle wanted her boyfriend dead. We don't know all the reasons why, but that was her end game. And that was considered success to her. So it was almost like murder by proxy. Now, legally, I don't know if you can call it murder, but she wanted him dead. She knew how to manipulate him. She knew what to say.
Robi,
that's what she wanted.
How does a 17-year-old get to the point where they say such things? We talk about the text that she sent. I mean, they seem inhumane to me.
Well, I think teens and kids could be mean. But it's morally reprehensible what she did. And I think in many ways, the law wants to make her an example. And they should, because teens are on social media, they're using text, they say mean things to one another, and I do think that there should be consequences.
Absolutely.
That your words have power. If you're going to use them, you have to stand by them, you have to live by them, you have to die by them, so to speak.
Literally.
And I do think we need to send that message out as a society. And we know kids can be mean, and the danger is that peers really strongly influence each other. They're going to listen to each other more than an adult because that's the phase that they developmentally are in.
Yeah, and that's the problem, Robi. I mean, go back, go back, go back. And she does go back, or he rather goes back based on what she directed him to do. And now he's no longer.
That's right.
Appreciate you.
It's really
Doctor.
tragic.
Oh, my goodness, is it? Now, before going to the lawyers on this, Dr. Robi, I have to turn to you because I've talked and I've asked you this question. Why not just get a divorce? Why not just leave the house? Why not just go to counseling? Why do people kill their spouses, allegedly?
It's a really good question. Well, the murderous spouse feels that their partner is standing in the way of having what they want in life. So they're very enraged. And divorce is expensive. It takes a long time. And there are many murderous spouses, they don't want to lose half their assets or they're standing in the community.
It's a great point. But, Robi, look at this beautiful house. Yeah. So you don't want to give away half of your money, but you want to spend the rest of your life in jail when you're 51 years old.
Well, they're not thinking that.
And give that away.
Right, but they're not thinking that. They are thinking, I can get away with murder. They're not thinking correctly. They're angry. They don't maybe want their partner to have a life. And so, you know, with divorce, they move on.
Right.
They could get remarried to other people. It could create jealousy. But I think the bottom line is these people are very self-focused and they don't want to, you know, alter anything in their life. They don't want to share money, alter their standing in the community, and they feel entitled to have everything that they want.
I don't get it. Dr. Robi, I just don't get it.
That's a good thing. That's why you're here.
Exactly.
And he is there.
Get a divorce,
right?
Go to counseling, do something. Don't go to Arby's and then say I was getting sandwiches, but beforehand you killed.
And it's a dumb lie, too, because it's a lie that could be disproven,
or Applebee's, rather. Yeah.
Right.
I just don't get it.